I've spent over 1000 hours surviving DayZ, all of that time on the PlayStation 4, a version of the game that fought me every step of the way. Lags, crashes, desync, moments that should have ended my run, and love for the game itself. But they didn't. Because DayZ was never about performance, it was about patience, awareness, and learning to stay alive when everything is working against you. It's about knowing when to move, when to hide, and when to walk away from a fight that you don't need. And now, after all this time, I'm finally stepping into next gen. A new beginning, a cleaner slate, all on the same unforgiving official servers. I'm not here to rush, I'm not here to chase kills, I'm here to survive properly. This is how a 1000 hour solo survives on the official servers for the first time, again. This journey starts in Berezino. I didn't have much of a plan at this point. All I knew was I did not want to linger around here for too long. I was going to get the basic gear, food, water, possibly even some building supplies, and then head towards Gorka and reach my secret stash full of plastic explosives, which I managed to get during the Christmas event, which is absolutely overpowered. When I was lucky enough to find some metal wire, this is when I decided I would try my luck and find the rest of the building supplies, and if I could find them, I knew exactly where I wanted to build my base. Just north from Gorka and the tree line is a little secret barn. I've made a separate video about this. Being in such a central location meant I wouldn't be too far away from anything. I managed to unwrap some more plastic explosives, but at this point I didn't think it would be worth it as I had a stash full. Later I would realise this would be a mistake. By this point, it was finally time to head inland. I was going to follow these power lines up to Dubrovka, loot up a bit, and then head to Gorka. Now that I've reached Dubrovka, first thing to do was fill up 2 water bottles which I acquired at Berezino. I brought 2 just in case I managed to find duct tape, so I can make an improvised suppressor in case I find a sniper rifle later down the line. Not even a minute later, I managed to find a blaze. These can't take suppressors, and the scope was badly damaged, the glass was smashed in, so I'd need to find something to repair it, but this was good for a start. I also found the shotgun to use as a secondary weapon. Before heading into Gorka, I hit the small military checkpoint just outside of it, but all I could find was some fresh clobber. I wasn't complaining. Now that I've reached Gorka, the plan was simple. Search every barn, shed and industrial building until I find all the essentials to build a base. Another piece of the puzzle acquired. Not finding much in Gorka, I decided to head straight to the stash. I was sure I left some build supplies there as well. Instead, I was greeted with absolute heartbreak. My hidden stash was nowhere to be seen. I was devastated to receive such a loss, but I had to move on from this. But on a lighter note, this was when I realised I nearly had everything to start building a base. All I needed now was nails and a hacksaw or a handsaw. So next on the plan of action was to hit Starry Support Military and then hopefully find the rest of the building supplies in the town. But first I wanted to quickly check for a stash within this lake. And I didn't manage to find anything this time, but I think it's always worth searching bodies of water as people are constantly making stashes within them. This was when the nerves started to creep in. If you're familiar with stories of war, then you know this military is a perfect setup for an ambush because of this dense tree line overlooking the military base. But after a few minutes of scanning for movement, I assumed that the area was clear and I decided to make my move. Clearly, my luck wasn't shining through today because the only addition to my arsenal I could find was this baby AK. After that, it was time to loot the town and hopefully find the rest of the building supplies. Again, I tried to search for another stash in this lake. I got absolutely soaking for nothing. After around an hour of searching, I was feeling very demotivated. I decided to check Gorka and Dubrovka one last time to see what I missed, and after that I was going to log off. Turns out the one barn I missed had a box of nails. Now all I needed was some kind of saw. In the bottom of Dubrovka, I finally found it, the last piece to start building a base. This whole time I did not need to travel to Story, I could have just searched where I didn't look before. But now the mission was simple, get to the base safely. I had finally made it, home sweet home. By this point I had to log off, so I just assumed it would be alright to log off and when I came back start building the base then, but I was not expecting what would happen next. Whilst I was away, some little bastard had built in my base. So right now I was left with a crucial option. I could either move on, knowing that it's risky to continue building here as the guy who built it could have logged off, or I can just continue building like nothing happened. It was a long 5 minutes of deciding, but I decided to fix up the base and take it as my very own. I quickly finished the building, and then I left the rest of the building supplies in this crate, as my next plan was to head to West Airfield and gather some NWAF gear. But even though this base was half built for me, I was still quite proud of myself. After a nice little success, I was feeling confident to head to the most dangerous place in Chernobyl. I only came here for NWAF gear, but in a place like this, it's hard to not get greedy. Finally, some well-needed armour, as well as a gas mask which was crucial to go into the gas zones, which was my end game goal. Here I was, the medical tents. This should surely have some NBC gear. At this point, I should have just accepted defeat, but I wanted more. Two players in the ATC. That lousy shot broadcasted my position to every player on the airfield, but I wasn't thinking about this. All my mind was set on is trying to get a few easy kills. I was down, but not out. Because of the adrenaline rush I had, I couldn't help myself but keep taking shots even though I knew I wouldn't make them. Now it's just a matter if these guys push me or not. Back in the fight, but it was time to reposition. My first PS5 PvP encounter. This would be a real test. Red health, 1 bullet in the chamber. I would need a miracle. But just as things peaked, I got overrun very quickly. The whole run gone just like that. A zombie jumped in front of my bullet and saved that man, and my second shot hit his body armor. That might have been such a terrible way to go, but I couldn't be happier, because after 1000 hours I had finally experienced DayZ the way it was meant to be played, and now I know I'll definitely be back. Thank you all so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.